Hey you guys, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be formatted just a bit differently because I wanted to share with you some recent sales that I made on items that have been featured in my recent vlogs. Then I will be taking you on a recent thrift trip to Goodwill where I was stocking up for my Etsy shop, and then I will bring you back here and share with you that haul. So I'm sorry in advance if this video feels a little clunkier than usual. I am trying to make it as smooth as possible, but I did want to follow up on my recently sold items in case that interests any of you. If you love hearing this information or could do without, just let me know in the comments because I won't take the time to follow up on these sales if you don't really care that much. So last week's video featured a major haul that I made at the Habitat for Humanity Restore Center. I bought a bunch of pieces and I showed you at the end of last week's video everything that I bought and everything that I spent on those items. So since then I have been able to sell a handful of those pieces, and then I'm also gonna share with you some pieces that were in older vlogs that I sold that you might be interested in hearing about. So first item I want to talk about is that chrome floor lamp that I got at Habitat for Humanity. I did some research on it before I listed it on Facebook Marketplace, and I learned that it's actually a vintage IKEA lamp that retails for anywhere from about $100 to $150. Those were the comps I was seeing on eBay. So as a reminder, I bought that lamp for about $4. I listed it at $100 and got a lot of interest. However, no one followed through on coming to actually purchase it. So after a couple weekends, I took the price down to $75, and I was still getting a lot of interest. But again, this was over the holidays, so people were just flaking on coming to get it. But in the end, I did end up selling it for $75, which means I made a profit of $71. The next item I want to discuss are those pair of vintage wood and rush counter stools that were in last week's video. If you remember, they were listed at $10 each. They were 50% off, so I basically spent $9 to $10 on the pair because I also had an in-store discount. I made the mistake of not sitting on them before purchasing them. So when I went to take my photos and list them, I first of all discovered an original price tag on the bottom, which is funny because they're from Linens and Things, which I don't think that store even exists anymore. And the original price was only $19.99. Then I sat in the stools and one of them was a little bit wobbly in the frame. I did tighten the seats, but that didn't fix anything. It was more so like where the footrests were. So I am always as honest as possible in my Facebook listings because I never want to shock anyone or disappoint anyone when they come to buy the item or when they get it home and they realize there's an imperfection. I always try to be upfront about that in the listing. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to make like $200 on them like the previous stools that I sold. However, they were so cheap that I'm like, okay, even if I can make 20 bucks, that's going to be great. So I ended up listing them at $60 just to see if I had any bites. And then someone ended up offering me $40 to come. This was like within a couple of days. And I ended up selling them to her for $40 because she could see in the listing that one of them was wobbly, and she ended up loving them in person. And so I ended up making $31 from that sale. Now the next item that I sold was that short little bookcase with the scalloped shelf. Now I know I said I was gonna keep that and refinish it, but the weather is so bad here, I do not want to spend any extra time outside or in my garage feeling cold, stripping wood stain, painting, staining, whatever. And my daughter didn't end up needing a bookcase in her room. So I decided, what the heck, I only spent $5.50 on it. So even if I make just a couple bucks, I just want to get rid of it. I ended up listing it for $75. And that same day, someone offered me $50 to come that night, which I knew I was gonna get less than $75 because the shelf looks a little dated with that wood stain, and it did have some scratch marks on it. So I was happy to get rid of it that day for $50, which means I made a profit of $44.50. Now, there were also some items that I featured in older vlogs. You might remember that gorgeous turquoise tufted ottoman that I found up in Seattle at the Value Village. I only bought it for $15 and just had to replace the lining on the bottom side. It looks so beautiful, like something from Anthropology. I should have listed it for more because I had multiple interested parties, like within hours of listing it at $100. But I just thought, you know what, my mission is to source affordable vintage items and then resell them still somewhat affordably, where it's still I'm making a profit and making it worth my time of sourcing, cleaning, listing, repairing all of those items, but I still want it to be accessible to people that maybe don't have as much time to go out and dig through thrift stores themselves. So I was happy to get rid of that at $100. I was able to make $85 profit off of that, which is still amazing. Now, I also featured in older vlogs some distressed brown leather poofs that I had purchased at the Teen Challenge here in Portland. And I first bought 4 of them, and then those sold so quickly that I went back and got 2 more and sold those as well. So I won't break it down by each individual sale, but I did sell the set of 4 to one buyer, and then I sold the set of 2 to this, like a different individual buyer. So in total, I bought all of those poofs for $100. And then I sold them for a total of $300, meaning that I made a profit of $200. There are still some items that I featured in last week's video, like the pendant lights and the coffee table, that I just got around to listing. And so those have not sold yet, but I will update you if they do and if you want to hear about it. But this is not bad. For pretty much since the start of December or late November, I made just on these sales over $400. It was, I think, $430 or something. And this is just my side hustle. Now, that is pretty vulnerable information that I am sharing with you, but the whole nature of my videos is reselling and thrifting for profit. So I thought it was about time I give you somewhat of an update on what I'm actually able to sell these pieces for. Now let's just get into today's thrifting trip with Goodwill in Washougal, Washington, which is just past Camas. And I was able to find so many amazing pieces. I can't wait to show you what I found at the store and then share with you what I actually ended up purchasing, which will mostly all be listed in my Etsy shop. Let's get into it.
I don't always stop to look at the clothing because it can be quite time consuming, but I remembered that there are a few clothing items on my thrift wish list, like a plaid skirt, a denim jacket, some cardigan sweaters. So I thought I would just stop and slow down and see what they have here. This store has a really amazing clothing selection, a lot of nice items, and a lot of nice vintage items as well. As I mentioned, a plaid skirt is on my wish list, and while I wish I could find something vintage, this one was pretty much exactly what I was looking for. It was the perfect size and price. I think it was only $6.99, and I loved the print on it as well. I also spotted this midi khaki gap skirt. This is exactly the kind of thing I would wear in the summer with some sandals and a tank top or a t-shirt, but it was not the right size for me, sadly. But look how pretty it is. It was in great condition, and yeah, like I said, I totally would have bought it for myself, but not my size. Another thing I've been looking for is a long denim jacket, and I couldn't believe I saw this one, so I'm going to put it in my cart and try it on later. The appliance section at a thrift store is another area that I don't always take the time to look through because it can be quite messy and overwhelming. However, I have found some really unique silverware sets here before, or cooking utensils. This one was funny. It was only $2.99, and I wish it had a pair so that I could buy it and sell it, but I ended up putting that one back. This blue and white canister was gorgeous, and it came with all of those cooking utensils, but it was from Home Goods and not vintage, so I put it back. I also love these pretty napkin rings for only $6.99, and they were originally $9.99 from Bed Bath & Beyond, so not necessarily vintage, but I did love the color palette, especially for fall and winter. Then I spotted this real marble paper towel holder for $4.99, and basically anything real marble always sells on Etsy, so I'm putting that in my cart. How adorable is this ceramic pie holder, you guys? Oh my gosh. It says exclusively Norcrest on the bottom, and it's $9.99. So I'm going to have to do some research to see if it's worth anything, that I could actually make a profit on it. But it is so cute, and I love those colors. So you guys know I love everyday items that have like a fun or unique spin on them. So this is just a martini glass, but it has this fun ribbed texture to it. It was $1.99, but there were only two, and I try to only buy dishes if I can at least get a set of 4. The same thing goes for these glasses. I have been wanting a set of 4 or 6 of these zigzag glasses. These were only 99 cents, but I can only seem to find 1 or 2 at a time, so I have not put a whole set together. Then I spotted this blush set of dishes from Holland. They're selling them in sets of 4 for $7.99. However, dishes are kind of a pain to ship, so I decided to pass on that. Of course, anything cat related sells. This tiny little kitty cat is only 99 cents. If I can't sell it, I will keep it myself. Okay, so these are unlike anything I would normally purchase, but something about them looks special to me. So they're only $1.99. I'm going to have to do some more research on what these are to see if they actually are of any value. Once again, blue and white, this piece of pottery was gorgeous. Couldn't tell exactly if it was vintage or not. It probably is. However, it's so large, it would be a pain to ship, so I decided to pass. I almost always find something worth purchasing in the brass and iron aisle, but not today. There's also a ton of amazing florals at this particular Goodwill. Lots of new stuff, like from Target and things, but I had no need for anything like that. So I moved on to the basket section and spotted these huge wall baskets. They were in really good condition and also very like high quality feeling and thick. And they do have a little hook on the back for hanging. They were $9.99 each. And because of their size, I decided not to purchase them because they would be a pain to ship. They're one of those items that are too big to sell on Etsy, but also too small to sell on Facebook Marketplace, at least for me and with my sales history. So like, what on earth are these? Did someone make these themselves out of stuffed animals? I'm confused and a little bit scared. This little set of wall hooks was so adorable, and as soon as I got home, I thought, why didn't I buy that for my daughter's room? It was just one of those classic moments where I'm busy taking everything in, feeling overstimulated, filming, and I'm not thinking clearly on items that I actually need or could use for my own home because I went in with the mindset of buying things to resell. So obviously I didn't end up buying that, and obviously I regret it. I think you guys know by now that I like anything fruit themed, so this little pear dish caught my eye and it was only $1.99. This set of napkin rings looks really special. It looks very, very fragile, and there's like a set of 10 in there and only $2.99, but they look so fragile, I did not want to deal with that. Here's another portion of that dishware set that I showed you earlier. These were the teacups and saucers. I love this tea kettle or teapot with matching little mugs. However, it is not vintage, so I decided to pass. Now, always be respectful, but this is your permission to peel back those price tags to look for a maker's mark. I sure am glad I did in this case. I'm definitely on a major mug kick, so these cuties also caught my eye. So pink glass is something that I used to collect and could always sell. It is pretty much always made in France. You can see a little stamp on the bottom to make sure. And these teacups were adorable. I probably should have purchased them, but I was really stocking my cart, so I decided to pass at that time. So remember that denim jacket I grabbed at the start of the video? Well, I put it on and it is exactly what I'm looking for. However, it is way too big on me, in particular in the shoulder area. So I think I'm gonna have to pass on that, sadly. So I'm so sorry for this angle. I really need to get better at filming myself in the thrift stores. But I'm gonna try on this skirt and it is in, like, it's my perfect size. How stupid is my outfit in this mirror reflection? So bad. However, it fits me perfectly, so I'm gonna get it.
Okay, it is now the next day. I ran out of time to film my haul after I went shopping yesterday, but I wanted to end this video by showing you everything I got, and most of this is going to be in my Etsy shop by the time this video is live, so make sure you go check out my shop if you're interested in purchasing any of these items. My shop name is Homegirl PDX, so let's get into this haul. The first thing I got was this marble paper towel holder. Basically anything marble, whether it's black or white marble or green or pink, actually, I've sold it all. And this is vintage. I can tell by the felt pads on the bottom, and there is a little gold sticker that says where it's made, but I can't make it out. It's too like scratched up. And also another way you can tell if it's vintage is if the hardware looks aged and the screw on the bottom of this is definitely, you know, worn. So I got this for $4.99. It is gonna be heavy to ship. However, it's not too big. It'll fit in, you know, a normal size box. And yeah, I know I can make probably 20 to 40 bucks on this. The next thing I got was this piece of pottery. Now, this style is kind of out of the ordinary for me. Usually I thrift and resell very like cutesy, colorful items. And this, I know Pottery is a major seller and you can get a lot of money for it. I just don't particularly know that much about it. However, what I do know is that anytime something is signed on the bottom, then it increases in value. So this one is signed. This is probably going to be reversed because I'm on selfie cam right now, but I'm going to insert a photo here of this signature. If you recognize it, please let me know in the comments what it says. I think it says HJ Zigulus, or just like a hashtag symbol, like a pound symbol, J Zigulus, but nothing comes up on Google when I search that. Anyway, all that to say, this was $4.99. It's a really good size. It's in excellent condition. There are no cracks or chips on it. It's even glazed on the inside, which you can kind of see, and it has this really pretty brown rust colored speckly finish on it. So I just know someone is going to love this, and I feel lucky that I found it because it's so beautiful. Now, the next piece that I got, I really kind of contemplated these. They're these porcelain ceramic huskies in kind of a mocha and white swirl, and they're almost so weird that when I saw them, I knew they were probably something special. And then sure enough, when I looked on the bottom, I had to peel back this sticker, but when I looked on the bottom, they are both signed. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it says PASS on the bottom. And I got these each for $1.99. I did a quick Google search when I was in the store, and these do exist. They weren't like a homemade project by a kid or something. I don't know much about them, but I thought they're so small, they're gonna be easy to ship, and I bet someone that owns Huskies or something is gonna love these. They almost have like a Southwestern feel to them because of that really pretty rusty mocha colored like glaze. And yeah, I think they retail, like the ones I found online, I think there's some from eBay or Etsy or something. I'll put it on the screen, but they retail for like, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks. And I have 2 of them, and I'll be selling them as a pair because I feel like you should never split up siblings. Yeah, I just thought they were quirky and fun. So we'll see if they sell. Now, along those lines, cat stuff always sells. I am a cat owner, and I can attest to the spell in which a pet cat puts on their owner family. So anytime I see something cat themed, I usually keep it in my house. You guys know, I think by now, that I have plenty of cat statues around my house. And when I saw this little guy, I thought it was so cute. It has like an old look to it, but it doesn't feel too granny. It feels cutesy, and it was only 99 cents. I don't know anything about this piece either because it's not signed and there's no marking on it. But I know I could probably get anywhere from $10 to $20 for this. And like I said, it'll be so easy to ship because it's very lightweight and very small. And again, I only spent 99 cents on it. So I think it's a good investment. And if it doesn't sell, I'll just keep it. The next piece I found, and this is something that I always grab when I am thrifting to resell, are candle snuffers, vintage candle snuffers, in particular, anything brass. This is real brass, and it has kind of a funny cone-shaped snuffer piece, and then it has these really cool twisted and bent handle. And I actually just noticed as I was filming this that it is marked on the inside. It says Sweden. So I am gonna have to do another deep dive on this, but I'm gonna put on the screen some comps that I found. You can resell these for anywhere from like 15 to 40 bucks, I believe. And again, this was only a 99-cent piece item and something I can use in my own home if it doesn't sell, but I know it will sell. So the next thing I bought was this cute little pear-shaped glass dish. It's in excellent condition, and I just thought, you know, I don't think it's super high value, but dishes like this just come in so handy for anything: jewelry, little hair ties, makeup pieces, little candy dish. This one is pretty small. It was only $1.99. And so, like I said, I know I won't make a ton of money off of this, but again, it's something that can go in pretty much any style, and it will be easy to ship and inexpensive to ship as well. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Okay, now this piece I am so excited about, and I am so sad that I am not a baker, or I would be keeping this for myself. It is this vintage blueberry pie. Well, okay, from my research, it is a vintage blueberry pie dish, and it has a lid and a base, and then on the bottom it says exclusively Norcrest, which is the brand that it came from. It is in such beautiful condition. I wish I had a reason to keep this because this is like the exact style of like vintage, silly, quirky, cartoonish items I keep on display in my house. But someone is going to love this. This was $10, but I actually had seen it at the Goodwill a few days prior when I went there for something else, and I wasn't filming. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I decided, okay, if it was there this next time when I went, I was for sure going to buy it, and I will just keep it as long as I need to until it sells. I did some research on it. I'm not sure that it's super valuable, but I could probably sell it for 40 bucks, 40 or 50 at the most, plus shipping. So anyway, it is just so gorgeous. Look how vibrant the colors are and the details. It is just, I live for stuff like this. It's so cute. So next I got a set of 4 lime green, I think it's called Corel brand coffee mugs. Years ago when I first opened my Etsy shop, I actually sold a pair of lilac colored Corel mugs. And so I saw, whenever I see a complete set, I think, I'm gonna get those. So anyway, I don't know how old these are, but I just thought the color was so nice and vibrant. 3 of them were 99 cents and then 1 was $1.99, which don't even get me started on the inconsistency of the pricing at Goodwill. But either way, they don't sell for a ton, but for some reason I just felt like I had to have them, and like a $5 investment was not much for me, as a set can resell for anywhere. A set of 4 I could resell for probably $30 or $40. Now, last but not least, I have 2 other mugs. I'm becoming a mug hoarder. It's so weird. I used to only want matching sets of things, but now every time I stop and look at the coffee mugs, there's at least one that calls to me that I feel like I need. The first one, my receipt out of there, was this tennis girl mug. And I need to peel back the sticker to see if there's a marking on it or anything, but I thought, I might try to resell it, but this is also something I would love to drink out of every morning. And yeah, it was $2.99 for this vintage mug. It's kind of like an off-white with black print on it. And then another one that I got that again, I'll probably try to sell this one. It's a vintage Nashville mug, and I just loved the colors and the kind of pop art style design on it. So really good condition. And again, this one was $2.99 as well. So it's interesting how the individual mugs are priced a lot higher than the ones in sets, obviously because they want you to buy a set. So they price those a little bit lower. So that is everything I got in today's haul, and I will be posting those, like I said. By the time this video is up, these will be listed on my Etsy shop, Homegirl PDX. So if you're interested in buying anything from here or from my previous hauls that you've seen, it might be up in my Etsy shop if it hasn't sold already. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you want to keep seeing content like this, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so that you don't miss any of my videos. I really appreciate your engagement and your views, and I just love being able to share the fun of thrifting and have an outlet to sell some of these items that I feel like I can't walk away from the store from, but also don't necessarily have room in my own home for them. So it's always fun to send these off to another owner that's going to appreciate them just as much, if not more, than I do. Have a great week, you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.